Hello everybody, Buddy with Midland, Texas. I think y'all going to find this interesting. On the recent video that I made called New Lubbock Chief of Police, I told a story about Melissa Rana Brott telling me that she believed Hailey Dunn was killed at her home on Cloudcroft Street in Odessa. Melissa, aka Rana, told me who she believed was there when Hailey was overdosed, and it was the same Aryan Brotherhood gang members that several other people had named. That home later burned down. Rana made me promise to not make this public and told me that she feared for her life. I kept my promise and I didn't post this in the public, but I did take screenshots and email them to the former Midland Chief of Police, Seth Herman. We had been sending emails back and forth at the time. A few months later, Rana was dead. A few days ago, this guy on TikTok named Oliver Klausoff said, "You cost that girl her life," sending her email to the police chief. And I replied, "I'll report information concerning the murder of a child to law enforcement every single time. These are violent criminals, and that's who I believe killed Rana." Okay, and here I'll show you that. This is the video right there. This is Seth Herman, the Midland Chief of Police, now is going to Lubbock. Okay, and here's the message from Oliver Klausoff blaming me for Rana, Rana dying. Okay. Hailey Dunn was a famous missing murdered 13-year-old Texas cheerleader. This made national news so millions of people know who she is. She was reported missing from Colorado City on December 27, 2010, and her remains were found in Scurry County on March 16, 2013. That's about 80 miles from Midland. Coincidentally, 2 days before her remains were found, I emailed the Department of Justice and I suggested they send somebody to my home to look in the underground homes here for clues. Shawn Adkins was later arrested for her murder, as they were saying that he had bashed her head in over in Scurry County. He was the former boyfriend of Billie Dunn, who was Hailey's mother. I created a video called "Dope Deal Went Horribly Wrong," and I tweeted it to the FBI. The next day, the FBI advised that they released Shawn and dropped the charges. The Who Killed Hailey Dunn Facebook group posted that the reason Shawn was released was because of paranoid schizophrenic Buddy Webb. More of my name smearing. Nobody has ever been arrested for her murder, and I suspected the reason might be that her mother, Billie Dunn, had taken Hailey to the underground oil show parties 2 months before she was reported missing. It makes sense that all of the strippers in the area were at those parties, and she was a stripper at the time. That fact has been hidden from the public. Okay, so here's a picture of Hailey, the little 13-year-old missing child, that was now found murdered. On August 20th, 2018, I sent this email to Midland Chief Police Seth Herman that had a copy of all the messages about Hailey Dunn from Rana Brott. And there's the date on it, August 20th, okay? Chief Herman, this is a private message from Melissa Rana Brott. And down here, I had all the messages in there. So that's when I sent it to the chief, okay? And here, 6 months later, February 22nd, is when Melissa Rana Brott died. And she told me, I'm scared for my life. She thinks, Hailey was killed in her house that burned down. Okay. Here's some of the screenshots. This screenshot was in the emails that I sent to Midland Chief of Police Seth Herman before Rana died. As you can see, she told me that Hailey Dunn was buried in between two buildings going out to Gardendale on a private lot in between Odessa and Kermit. This didn't sound like something somebody would just make up, so I believed it to be true. I wondered if law enforcement had talked to Rana after I secretly sent this to Chief Herman. Rana also said, "But as I said, I know that baby girl was given a hot shot inside my trailer in the back room by no other than Brandy Dunn, and Brandy lived in my trailer with me." A hot shot is a high dose of drugs in a needle meant to cause an overdose or death, I didn't know what that was. I had to figure out what that was. But anyway, here's the message. It was a print screen from Angel Cherry was what the name she went by, but that was Melissa Rana Brott. And she was actually buried in between two buildings. That's real detailed, and, it's just hard to believe somebody just made that up, Brandy Dunn had also contacted me and told me that the murder of Hailey Dunn and the murder of Cody Mercer were connected and that both of them had been recorded. She said the cops had the recordings. 3 other people told me about these murder tapes, and one of them said they were turned in at the Midland FBI office on Big Spring Street. I got print screens, all that, And here it is. I said there, she says there's a video. The cops have it. A video what? Hailey's murder? Yes, it was the video of Cody Mercer's murder. The cops have both. And that's what Brandy done. But keep in mind that Raina told me Brandy's the one that gave Hailey the hot shot. Okay. And here, Raina, a.k.a. Melissa, also told me, I did hear that Jackie and David Parker took Hailey's remains to David's family land in Scurry County. Jackie Thompson was a former Odessa police officer. The Odessa American reported that he confessed to distribution of 500 pounds of meth. Allison Frazier was recorded as saying that Hailey had been buried in Jackie's backyard, and Tisha Brumley said that her niece, who ran with the Aryan Brotherhood, saw Hailey twice. One time was at a connection's house, and the other time was at Jackie Thompson's house. Tisha's niece lived down the street from Raina's house that was said to be where Hailey was killed, the home that later burned down. This was in the message from Rana Brott. And first she mentions Birdie. I knew Birdie. He's no jerk, meaning cold. And he's doing a life sentence for murder right now. He's one of them Aryan Brotherhood gang members, and his name come up many times too. But anyway, she tells me, she said, I did hear that Jackie and David Parker took Hailey's remains to David's family land in Scurry County. And that's what I'm saying. Jackie Thompson was that former Odessa cop. I'm going to show you here. Jackie Thompson was a former Odessa police officer. Right here. Former Odessa police law enforcement officer sentenced to 17 and a half years after pleading guilty to possession of 500 pounds of methamphetamine with intent to deliver. He's out. He got out because of COVID. Got out early. Allison Frazier was recorded saying that Hailey had been buried in Jackie's backyard. There's a recording of this. Let's turn this up. Body was also at Jackie Thompson's backyard. Who's Jackie Thompson? Jackie Thompson was a police officer in Odessa, Texas, but he got arrested a few years back on dope charges. He was a police officer. He knew about Hailey? Yeah, he knew about Hailey. Hailey was in his backyard. The body was also at and I want to show you one more. Tisha Brumley said that her niece, who ran with the Aryan Brotherhood, saw Hailey twice. One time was at a connection's house, and the other time was at Jackie Thompson's house. Tisha's niece lived down the street from Raina's house that was said to be where Hailey was killed. A house later burned down. And here's Tisha Ann Wilkinson Brumley. But my niece, a few years back, ran with the Aryan Nation. She saw Hailey twice. One was at Jackie's, one at a connection, And said, I told her to give me the information. I'll call the cops. When she did, 30 minutes after she told me, she called me crying, saying she went back to the connection's house and Hailey was dead. They hid her out in a septic tank for 2 days, then dumped her in Big Spring. Once again, that don't sound like stuff that people make up, And it was all multiple people saying the same thing, And then finally, Raina here on the last one told me that she had family members that worked for the Midland Police Department. That's part of what she's scared of. One was Stephen Glenn Truex. He's my cousin. He's with MPD. Neil Truex is my cousin. He's with the SWAT team in Midland. And Jacob and Zachary Owens are my cousin. Maybe they know something. Anyway, I thought y'all would find that interesting. If you know something about the information of a child, report it to law enforcement. I'm going to every time. Don't think I'm going to keep it secret. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.